Hi, DC Vigilante here. So, as you know, the world has been shaken up by the coronavirus, and they've put like James Bond on hold for another until November when it was meant to be released next month. Who's to say that will be the only film to be held back? You never know. Same thing might happen to Wonder Woman. But Wonder Woman is still a couple of months away. It's already put a hold on um, films like Mission Impossible. It's reported that Disney may suffer through this through the theme parks. Some of the theme parks closing down, and and we see the sort of general public kind of buying stuff as though there was some sort of apocalypse coming around the corner or some sort of plague of zombies or whatever. People are panic buying just now. In Australia, there was reports of them buying umpteen rolls of toilet roll. The elderly worried because it hits them the hardest. Hand sanitizers getting sold out. People advised to cancel the holidays, not go anywhere where there's large crowds, and so forth. And it's where most of the British sort of attitude is, you know, is keep the stiff upper lip and just carry on regardless. I remember just recently I read an interview with in the newspaper about this terrorist attack, and there was some police telling everybody to get out of the club and everything else is a danger afoot, and then the police getting hurled, things at the face like toilet rolls or something like that, and the police said, "Okay, I think you can handle yourselves. We're off." So that's the kind of, that to me is close to the Glasgow guy, where a terrorist came to Glasgow and tried to blow up the airport, and it just took a couple of civilians to grab him and kick his ass, and keep punching him even though he set himself on fire, stuff like that. So I found it funny that, and I must admit, I am a big fan of Alex Ross, Paul Dini. Together just make fantastic stories, and I'm not a big fan of Justice League stories where there's a lot of intergalactic fights and everything else, and it just becomes bizarre that you're not actually you can't relate to it and stuff. But I always found and of course the artwork helps a lot to ground it, but for me it's the story really. As I say, one of my favourite books was Kingdom Come and so I've just came across this recent one, and it starts off with a great introduction to the different characters and stuff like that's involved in the formation of the Justice League. And the reason why I brought this up is it's about a virus. I'll try and get the name of it. What is the name? Where is the name of the book? Oh, wait a minute, I'll be at the back. Justice League Secret Origins. Justice League Liberty and Justice. That's what it's called. Liberty and Justice. And funny enough, it's about a virus. And people panicking in the streets, people going crazy, the government's control to maintain it, and how quickly something like this could turn a civilized group of people or the world into a frenzy. And I always believe that the reason why places with money are no better than those that are without. I believe that you suddenly start taking away comforts from any country, money or whatnot, and they'll just be as barbaric as some of the poorest ones out there. So I'll give you a wee quick thing of this. I doubt you could probably read it. My phone is not. No, you'll probably not be able to read it, but it may give you a wee sort of insight of a book you might want to read. As I say, the artwork and everything else is. Maybe one day I should just sit down and read. But then again, you know, I want you to go out and buy comic books. And when you read this, you're reminded stories like this, you are reminded why you fell in love with DC for the first time, and it's these stories like this that are far much better in comic book form than it is on any animated or movie, because it really does capture the characters very well. I enjoyed reading it, and as I say, it's and there's moments in the storyline which is that gives each character their place. And after reading this, I honestly felt like Martian Manhunter really deserves a movie. And what happens in the story is people like this man here, they've got this virus, but it makes them that they cannot move, and so they're presumed to be dead. And it's the Martian Manhunter that searches through their head and realises, no, this guy's still alive, he's still thinking, but he's just unable to move. You have Flash in the containment suit, Wonder Woman flying in her plane, Martian Manhunter trying to comfort them and becoming somebody that they might respect. But then we have Flash with the tear in his suit, you know, and of course you know what's going to happen if he's got a tear in his suit and his body starts to freeze. He falls into the water, and Martian Manhunter's trying to keep the rockets away from the Earth because they're not dead, they're still alive. And you've got the fear, and you have those moments in comic book history, in comic book lore or TV, where he just comes in just at the nick of time to give a helping hand. We have Flash and Aquaman. And there's so many good wee quotes in this. You know, you've got Flash and Martian Manhunter, especially us Strange. And you and I aliens have adopted this planet and spent years protecting it, yet my powers and appearance always engendered more paranormal in human minds than trust. I feel the same way, John. Power always seems to intimidate, no matter how familiar the face or altruistic the intentions. Seriously, see when I start saying these words out loud, I'm like, these are not kids' books. You know, these are not kids' comics, because I mean, it's good to read, but I sometimes have to get the dictionary out, so this goes to prove that comic books, and I keep saying to everyone that, yeah, there's comic books especially designed for kids, but there's also those designed for adults. Here's the media coming on, and they're saying the Justice League's the virus, fearmongering. And see, this is the thing, when I look at the news just now covering it, I feel like the news is to blame. Journalists are to blame for causing panic. There's so many other things that do not get reported on the news. Like in France, there was fights going on about their pensions. Firemen fighting policemen and stuff. But that hardly gets reported in the UK. But you start talking about a virus that somehow is killing, people the same way maybe the flu does a year, then of course you're going to stir up trouble. But for me, the media have a responsibility, yes, to tell the truth, but also it can help shape the world. They can help shape people's ideas and thoughts, more powerful than any movie can, because most movies are based on an idea, fantasy of what people would like the world to be. But as journalists, they're reporting what the world is. And I think if they did it right, they could put a positive spin on it. And here we see the riots starting to get out of hand. I've seen this picture so many times, and we'll have to calm them down. Maybe I should have went like this instead, but that would take a lot of film time. And you can probably, nowadays, you can download these comics. So everybody gets a shot. Hot man and hot girl. Yep, even Plastic Man. For me, Plastic Man's erotic because he can be anything you want him to be, and he's like that old schoolboy wishful thinking of being invisible and being in the girls' shower rooms or something like that, and that reminds me, the Invisible Man's in the cinema. I quite fancy it myself. Also, of course, there's more reports on Zack Snyder's film, how it could be Justice League Part 1. And, I mean, if it is Part 1, then of course, you would love to get a Part 2, but I don't know how. I'm sure all the actors would rally forward for so many days just to do a couple of shots and get paid for it, Especially means if there's going to be another movie that they will appear in. There's the Atom and Aquaman as they try to cool down the rioters, Wonder Woman. And it's just, what I love about this story, that we have a girl jumper, is that it's grounded. It talks about humanity. And for me, this really symbolises what these superhero people can be done and how they work together as a team. And Superman, of course, and he's did great and all that sort of stuff. He did great. Flash's wife. Then you've got that great moment where you have the speech where they come and they talk, and they give a positive message to those people on earth. Right, so that is my wee quick video. I know you never saw much of me today. I don't even know if the camera's on me just now. So yeah, please check the book out, check the story out. This is a Egomorse one. It keeps on telling us there's more others. But I just find it an amazing coincidence it's came out at this time. Another amazing coincidence was, of course, the book done by, I believe, Dean Koontz, that wrote in a paragraph some months before, and he actually mentioned the wee town where the virus broke, and it was in China, and they couldn't control it. I just thought, I can't remember what was the wee town called, Months or something. I can't. Top of my Mutan or something. And he wrote about it. You can Google it, Dean Koontz and the virus, and then of course we have this book here that sadly not everyone reads in the world, that they may actually handle the coronavirus a lot differently, a lot more optimistic. Well, thank yous all for watching, thank yous for listening, and catch yous next time. This is DC Vigilante, and that's been my truth.